Hello and welcome. My name is Addison Garwood and this is Channel 5 News. Today as we hit the mid-century mark, we will be taking an in-depth look back at the beginning of the century and its impact on today's world. We will narrow our focus to climate change and the consequences of the policies put in place, or lack thereof, that we live with today. With that being said, let's begin. Before we take a look at climate change through the 21st century, we have to understand what climate change actually is and how it became a worldwide dilemma. Climate change, or as some may know it, global warming, is the changing in the overall temperature of the Earth, both hotter and colder. While this process has naturally occurred over the course of Earth's history, like with the Ice Age, there are a few irregularities that might link the cause to human activity. First and foremost, humans have greatly increased the greenhouse gas, or carbon dioxide emissions, which traps heat emitting from the Earth within the atmosphere. Greenhouse gas emissions are caused by burning of fossil fuels, a common human activity. In turn, this leads to the warming of the Earth, affecting its natural climates and melting glaciers and ice, leading to rising sea levels. Unfortunately, those who wielded the power for change within the American government ignored the evidence of this issue. Yes, there were several movements that made steps toward change, like the Clean Air Act of 1970 and the several global conventions that implemented climate change protocols. However, as one of the leading countries for greenhouse gas emissions, America did not take the necessary precautions to avoid the further changing of the Earth, which had some dire consequences. At the beginning of the 21st century, it was clear that global warming was a polarizing topic. As with many issues in America, climate change was divided among party lines, with liberal Democrats supporting action and conservative Republicans denying its existence. This created a disconnect that limited change. Little help came from the presidency, as President Trump, who was in office during a pivotal time during the advancement of climate change, denied the proof of its existence. At the time, 2016, roughly 48% of Americans believed both in its existence and that it was caused by humans. However, public policy did not reflect. Even with the presence of bureaucratic agencies like the Environmental Protection Agency, the lack of funding could not bring about change, especially with the persistence of interest groups that had to protect their investments, like oil. Americans took matters into their own hands. Constitutional cases like Juliana versus United States cropped up as people began to argue that the lack of laws restricting greenhouse gases and climate change was infringing upon their Fifth Amendment right to life, liberty, and property. People lost their homes due to rising sea levels and stronger natural disasters. People lost their lives to the pollution in the air. People lost their liberty. Now that we have a basic understanding of the foundations of America in the 21st century, we can explore the long-term impacts. According to NASA, global temperatures have risen as much as 10 degrees, leading to a lengthened frost-free season. Average rainfall has both decreased in areas like Southwest America and increased in northern United States greatly. Contrastingly, droughts have increased. Hurricanes have become more intense, sea levels have risen as much as 2 feet, and the Arctic is nearly ice-free. Not to mention, animals such as orangutans, polar bears, and leopards have gone extinct to the rapid deterioration of their habitats due to deforestation. According to the World Health Organization, 250,000 people have died due to climate change through maladies like malnutrition, malaria, diarrhea, and heat stress. Sadly, these numbers will only continue to grow with the attitude that the government has towards the crisis. We have reached a point where reconciliation is not possible, and prevention is the only feasible option. Call your representative and demand change today, because we might not have a world tomorrow. Thank you, and have a great day.